90th start of his career, first with Baroka and now as the backup to Stevens at Stellenbosch. Has not had much opportunity this season, but tonight's a chance to take a little bit of the spotlight. Richard Ofori is the goalkeeper for AmaZulu. You'll remember he departed from Orlando Pirates at the start of the season. Ethan Brooks, former Bafana player, amongst a very experienced AmaZulu side, the likes of Zungu and Hanamub and Phillies and Pahlele we've mentioned. Sikakane wide on the right-hand side as well. And plenty for both of these sides to play for. So, match is underway. AmaZulu in the white attacking the goal to the right, and certainly the wind does look as if it's going to make some sort of impact here early on in this game. Ishmael Toure at the back. Playing today, by the way, his 36th game of the season for Stellenbosch. They, with all of their cup success, have had an incredible program. Yes, Ashley Cupido now up against Phillies. Gets the ball in square. For Stellenbosch, this is game number 44 of this campaign. They've won 22 of the past 43, so just over 50%. Only lost 11 times. The campaign in the African Confederation Cup adding to those numbers. Now Bastardine down the line. This is Nku settling in now after his January move from champions Mamelodi Sundowns. Kolowani is also fresh on the books. No left foot there for the attempted cross.
Speaking about Nku earlier on, I think that is one player that has settled well here in Stellenbosch, placing that false 9, sometimes used as a 10. I think the way he has adapted here, I'm a little bit surprised that he adapted so well. With Kolowani on the other side coming from Baroka, a good addition to the squad.
Kolowani's pressure on Sikakane. Zulu do have the oldest squad in the Betway Premiership, and that's tempered tonight by the introduction of this exciting 18-year-old who much has been spoken about in the build-up. Young Bayanda Tabeni is from Kwamashu. And here he is putting early pressure on Toure and taking the ball away. Now let's see what he can do. Tabeni gets the cross in. Clearance away. It's not often a young player makes his debut straight into the starting lineup. Normally you get a few games as a substitute, chance to taste the big stage.
I've seen him in the Diski. He wears jersey number 10 for the Diski team. He plays on the right-hand side, but inverted a little bit. Very good technique. And I think, as you said earlier on with the Gliz, that they've had 11 days to prepare for this fixture. It gives the coach time to work with the young man and introduce him to this team. It's good to see after Zwane having the bravery to start an 18-year-old.
Well, this is what Tabedi did. Look at this, taking on the might of Toure. A little bit of assistance, it must be said, from Moremi. And then he played a delightful little cross in here as well. So, full of confidence. Here it comes, just an excellent little chip. No one on the receiving end, however. Now, another ball into the area, floats all the way through. Kamindu was looking for a little touch there, but straight through to Masuluki. Knocked into touch by Tabede.
He's got enough senior players around him to be able to assist him. You're talking about a Ben Mutswari, you're talking about a Zungu with that midfield. They will look after him tonight and they'll guide him throughout.
Mistake from Barnes, sees Kabindu take possession, and Yenaya helping out. And in the end, that should be an AmaZulu ball. Interesting to see the role that the pitch plays tonight with all of this damage from the rugby yesterday. Stellenbosch forced, by the way, because of rugby, to move the second leg of their semi-final in the African Confederation Cup. It's Sunday next to Durban. They play at Moses Mabhida Stadium, where they have had a few of those African club competition games before already this season, but not a good situation for the home fans. But there's only one stadium here in the Cape that's been passed by CAF as suitable for international competition. That's the Cape Town Stadium, and there'll be rugby there rather than Stellenbosch. Not this coming Sunday, the Sunday thereafter. Now, Masaluke stretches that big hand out, collects. Can he get things going? Long ball out here for Cupido, into touch from Sikakane, taking no chances.
What about that throw nearly to the D-line of the opposition? Good distribution coming from Masuluke.
Oh, look at those biceps. That's a big man. Now Sikakane again, Moremi in support. Motswari. Always been lots of running on the left from Hanemund as well. He's got the youngster ahead of him, but he's looking for Brooks. That ball just hanging up in the air now. So the wind is certainly in Stellenbosch's favour in the first half. Perhaps that helped Masaluke with that long throw. Here comes Cupido now. Lekoloane. Oh, Cupido looks as he pulled a hamstring there. That's the end of him, I think. He didn't even attempt the cross. He's rolling back onto the pitch now. But well, you've got a sense there, you know, Pumuzo, those kind of injuries, not that easy to come back from.
They need to start warming up somebody on the sideline. You can't just stop playing like that. You could see as he was about to accelerate, as he was in that acceleration mode. No, that's serious. If a player does that, that's serious. And it sounds like there's just a gunshot that goes on in that moment. I think he's not coming back.
Not good news either for the trip to Tanzania this weekend. They'll be taking on Simba in the semi-final, first leg match, which has been moved from Dar es Salaam to Zanzibar. Simba, of course, coached by Fadlu Davids, ex-Maritzburg United coach, co-coach at Orlando Pirates, along with Mandu Nikazi. They went to the Confederation Cup final that tear a couple of years ago. So Fadlu Davids will be an experienced man for Steve Barker to pit his wits against. Clearance here from Toure. First leg of that semi is on Sunday in Zanzibar, and the next Sunday in Durban, the return. Yes, Brooks now. AmaZulu looking lively in these early stages. Just a little overhit. Barnes playing on the right. He just hoops that down. They know that Cupido still receiving treatment. Down to 10. What change are they going to make here? Now, there was a signal there. I just missed it from the medical side. Is Cupido going to be okay, or are they going to make a change? It does look as if there's going to be a change here.
One thing that they can't afford to do, Stellenbosch, is rush a player into the game because they are one-man short. They need to make sure that whoever is coming off that bench is warm enough and ready to come in this game warm enough, not to get another injury from the player coming off the bench.
Here it'll be Langelishe Pili coming on. He's a left-sided player with plenty of skill. And there you can see bottom of your screen now, ready to join the fray. In the meantime, Phillies with possession. Zungu now. Looking for the pass through the middle. Little push there, and Nku went down rather easily. Two of them with Mamelodi Sundowns last season. Surplus to requirements in this campaign.
Two former Mamelodi Sundowns midfielders going head-to-head. Zungu fouling Nku in that moment. With the sub about to happen where Pili will be coming in, he will definitely come in on this left-hand side. Then they will push Likolwani to be more inside to place the 10. Just behind Nku will then move to that false 10, in that false 9 role up top.
So, end of the game for Ashley Cupido, and Pili on in his place. This is what happened. Cupido just feeding it in the hamstring. Wasn't even going to attempt to cross the board. He knew then that was his race run. Now it's a question of time, rest and recovery if he is to stand any chance of competing in the semi-finals. The next 2 games for Stellenbosch are both of those Confederation Cup games. They don't play a league match until the end of the month against Chippa United.
Mr. Cleese, a lot of that injury comes from the load. How many of these players are used to playing in a 40, 44, 50 match season? They are not used to that amount of games in their legs.
It's more and more of a factor that coaches are highlighting these days in world football, but the reality of all the competitions and the big money in the game, Australia will let that go away. Concern for Steve Barker, Wesley Sergel, his assistant. Kupito limping his way towards the change room.
A lot of question marks then gets asked to the medical team, to the strength and conditioning team, to say why is that injury happening in the first 5 or 7 minutes or so. What went wrong with that injury of Ashley Kupito? Those are some of the questions that Steve Barker will need answers from his medical team.
Now Pili gets his first touch. Look at his pace here up against Kakane. Is not slow by any means. Gets there first, in fact. Try and get it onto his right foot, Kakane, in the end. The clearance only as far as Zungu. Throw-in it'll be here. So good pressure from Stellenbosch. Bassadin to take the long throw-in. It's a bit of a swerve looking for Ture. Brooks will be the man to clear. Zulu got pace on that counter with Kambindu and with Moremi. Stellenbosch ball. Kambindu recently purchased from Chippa United in the January transfer window. There's another Namibian, Hanamo. Good switch of play. Ture calm at the back. Jabbar's in a bit of trouble here. This is Nku. One man who is sitting out today, or he's on the bench, but basically been rested. Devin Titus, another one who's really feeling the load, hasn't recovered properly from an injury sustained against Magesi in Shisheko, I should say, at the beginning of the month or the end of March, and then was played in the 2 games against Zamalek, but brought off in both of them. In fact, at half-time in the second leg in Cairo, decided just to give him a little bit of break, take no chances for today's encounter. I think if they're in a bit of trouble, Stellenbosch, they might put him on. Lekroane now putting pressure. Nice, experienced work at the back from Phillies. Motswari. They're really being hunted down here. The looks like a pack of wolves. The Stellenbosch press.
That is also something that they've picked up on CAF competition, how the North Africans really take away space and time whenever you're in position. You see them doing it now to AmaZulu.
Zungu, space for Brooks. There's Motswari. Nice skill from the youngster, Tabeni into the middle. What a confident opening 13.5 minutes we've seen from this 18-year-old.
Technically gifted, understands the game. He's picking up the ball in good areas in the pockets in between the lines. Good technical quality also.
He reminds me of young Siwata, who was 16 or 15 when Gordon Ingleson gave him his first game in Ajax colours. Similar build, similar style.
Special talent, that one, Mr. Cleese.
That was in your era, and that was, if I think about it now, almost 20 years ago. Close on, 2006, 2007, around that time. Here he is, 18 years old. And taking like a duck to water to the Betway Premiership. No hang-ups at all, no nerves. He's on the stage and he wants to show what he can do.
As a youngster, you pray for this moment, you wait for this moment, you wait for the coach to give you such an opportunity. You get an opportunity now, surrounded by so many senior players. You've got all the support that you need. First 15 minutes, good so far.
Hanamuk to take the corner with that left foot, look to swing it in. They've got some height in there with Kambindu, with Zungu, Pahlele. So let's see what they can do with a set piece. Goes a little too close to the near post, but there'll be a second opportunity here.
With a goalkeeper with the height of Masuluke, it's difficult as to where you're going to place that ball into that penalty area.
He's been crowded in there, Masuluke. Header is wide. Philly's feeling maybe there's a corner there. So does Kambindu, but not too convincing on that set piece was Masuluke.
But it's those crowd of players in front of him that makes him uncomfortable, undecided in when to come out. He does not meet the ball at the highest point and use the advantage of using his hands. Kambindu unlucky not to get it on target.
Yeah, he got rather fortunate there, I think, Masuluke flapping at that one and Kambindu just putting it off target. That must go down as an early chance for AmaZulu.
It's a good chance from a set piece. When you look at the previous game when they played against Richards Bay, their goal came from a set piece in the second phase where Felix was able to put the ball in the back of the net. It seems like Arthur Zwane and his technical team has been working a lot on those set plays at training.
Zion, says the referee. Phillies will get this forward. Philly now takes possession away. Zungu, Brooks, Motswari, Tabedi gets caught there. It'll be a foul against Sanele Barnes.
He's doing the basics right. He scans, he looks around before he calls for the ball. Good receiving on the opposite foot. He goes forward, he receives with the back foot. Excellent.
I think he's only made a couple of mistakes with a few crossfield passes that were intercepted. But for the rest, always good to see young talent being given an opportunity. It's rare in South African football they throw an 18-year-old straight into the starting lineup. Has been on the bench once before, never played for AmaZulu, and here he is in the starting lineup. And hopefully that will happen for some other clubs as well. Throw the teenagers in. Forward from Mochwari. Aloy Sane, the flag's up.
Talking about this young man, Tabete, being on the bench once and getting a starting 11, it reminds me of a story of Mbokazi at Orlando Pirates. He was playing in the quarterfinals just the other day of CAF Champions League. Hardly 5 or 6 games for Orlando Pirates, and you're already playing in the quarterfinals of Champions League.
I'll give you another example of that. Bulelo Mabizela came out of nowhere. He played his first game for Bafana after 9 matches for Orlando Pirates. That's how quickly they spotted his talent. And of course, you know what happened when Tottenham came to play a friendly against Pirates. He was on his way overseas. Prodigious talent, that man.
You can't. I don't think we can say about Mabizela as talent. We need to say special talent.
Yes.
Because he started his career as a right back, finished off at centre back for Orlando Pirates, going abroad and playing as a 6. He was a special talent.
Unlike Tabedi, however, he did have 1 or 2 seasons in the 2nd division, so came along nicely. But once he was in the top flight, he was very quickly king of the pile. Now, Moremi, Brooks tried to turn, runs into Kiba. And out to Barnes. Now, Nkloane stretching. Good idea as he got away from his marker. Barnes delivered a fine ball in there. First chance for Stellenbosch.
That's the reason he was brought to Stellis, is those type of deliveries. Excellent ball. The defenders don't know what to do. It's an excellent ball, but also difficult for Likolwane, who has to change the profile of his body. He does not know if he must go for that diving header or go for the right foot. He apologizes to Barnes, saying that was an excellent pass. It just needed a finish. Barnes doing what brought him to Stellis, which is something that he was doing so well at Richards Bay.
Playing a little further on the right today, further forward I should say. He's got Enyenaya behind him, but filled in a few times this season at right back for Stellenbosch, showing his versatility.
That's the type of players that coaches want these days in their squad. With Barnes having the ability to play at right back, he can play as a half-10 sometimes, and also can play as a winger. Good energy on him, so he's very important to this thin squad of Stellis.
Enyenaya trying to find a square pass. Strong challenge from Brooks, an illegal one, says the referee. Stellenbosch coming into this game having lost their last league encounter against Magesi. Obviously battling on front as well. That's taken a lot of the focus away from them. Haven't had a home game in the league since they played Pirates in goalless draw at Athlone Stadium back on the 11th of March. Happy to return here to the Dani Craven Stadium. So AmaZulu with 3 games left after today's encounter. They've got a derby with Golden Arrows, then Polokwane City at home and Pirates at home on the last day of the season. Very genteel pace for them coming into the final month. No other matches in other competitions. Stellenbosch have got 5 games after today. Chipper we've mentioned. In fact, that game's in between the 2 legs of the Confederation Cup. In other words, this time next week. Golden Arrows away, SuperSport United still to play, Cape Town City in the derby on the last day of the season, and they're still going to fit in the game against Mamelodi Sundowns, which will be away in Pretoria. There should have been an advantage there for Moloi Sani. Keeper gets it out wide. It's nice and physical, this encounter. Barnes. Now, looking for Nku. Unable to keep possession. Undermoved to Motswari. Again, the pressure continues from Stellenbosch. Barnes gives away the foul.
Intelligent from Brooks. He protects the ball well. Makes sure that Barnes does not get an opportunity as soon as he gets a touch. Because he's coming from behind, the referee will always protect him. Wins a set piece for his team.
Halfway through the first half. Motswari. Ball only as far as Jabbar. Now, Thiele, we haven't seen him take on the defenders yet, but you can bet he's looking for an opportunity. Jabbar gets a bit of a shove from behind.
You can see it's going to be an interesting battle in that midfield with Ben Motswari Zungu, with Jabbar and Kiva on the other side, sitting as double pivot on the opposite end.
Jabbar will be nice and fresh today. He was on the bench for the game in Cairo, didn't come on Last week Sunday, of course, had a good rest period, Stellenbosch, as have AmaZulu. Basadin, that's a lovely ball, and Koo, he has a chance, surely. Or Fori does well. Good set-piece routine, that one.
Excellent routine, you can see it from the training ground. Everybody's expecting that ball to go to the far post. Basadin finds that inch-perfect ball to find Nku. Good positioning from Ofori, takes the opportunity away, but good routine, good reflex save coming from Ofori.
Now Jabbar, ball is out of play.
That's the wind.
Yep.
That's the wind. They're playing against the wind, AmaZulu. You can see Sikakane.
Local knowledge absent from Sikakane. Has had his whole career on the coast, so must have a decent idea of wind, although Durban's nothing like Cape for the influence it can have. Teely looking to get away, but that's out of play.
But the wind is better. Mr. Gliss, you must tell them about the wind at Athlone before the other grandstand on the opposite side.
Yeah, before the 2010 World Cup, when they built the stands behind the goals, both goals. Before that, there was nothing. It was just a grass embankment, so it was like a tunnel. Maybe the Athlone, I think the place that clubs hated the most visiting.
Having to deal with McIthie and Otiano with those long throws at Athlone was a nightmare. Sebastian Bucks to add onto that list.
You're showing your age now. It's a good 20 years ago now that Santos team league champions. Lord Nicholson was the coach there. Now, Kiba. And Yanaya's pushed up. Going towards the byline. Can he get the cross in? Finds Nku. Nku looking for the run from Barnes. He has Basadin with that left foot. Peely gets the ball in, and that's blocked. Out it comes again. Remy taken away by Basadin. Jabbar. Now they'll get a corner out of this.
With the wind favoring Stellenbosch, you'd expect them to take more shots from range. But I've not seen a lot of their players when they get around that final third in and around the D-line trying to go for that shot because they've got the wind as an advantage behind the shot.
So first corner of the game for the home side. Let's see what powers Basadin can do with that left foot of his. Curl it in. Out comes Ofori, misses that. Barnes scores. Easy goal for Stellenbosch. Goalkeeping error, and Sanele Barnes needs no second invitation at the back post. Well, that's pretty schoolboy stuff that Stellenbosch won't worry too much about that.
Excellent ball brought in by the captain of the day in Basadin. He's an in-swinger that Ofori has to come out and deal with. Was he deceived by the flight of the ball because of the wind? But on the far post, Barnes is alert to be able to put the ball in the back of the net. He's that in-swinger. Ofori comes out, he collides with his captain in Raman Patlele, but correctly positioned on that far post is Sanele Barnes. Well taken goal.
There was just a little window there for him to put it in. It was Moloi Sane who actually set the ball up for him rather inadvertently, but Barnes will have something to thank his centre-back for there. It's only his second goal of the season, got his opener against Cape Town City back in September, so on the score sheet again for Stellenbosch. Got 5 last season in the league for Richards Bay, so beginning to repay the transfer fee.
You make an important observation, Mr. Glees, because the block from Maloisani to keep Zungu away from making that tackle gives an opportunity to Barnes to then slot that ball in the back of the net.
So Stellenbosch in the lead. A victory today would lift them up into 3rd place where they finished last season. Remember, 3rd place means a slot in the African Confederation Cup next season. And these African club competitions these days, prize money has been significantly increased. They're becoming rather profitable ventures. Even for a club like Stellenbosch, who've done a lot of travelling this season, racked up a big travel ball. Here comes Barnes again. Straight down the middle, he's looking for another one, Sanele Barnes. He had Pili to his left, but I think having just scored, he was thinking about a second. Now, long ball forward, that's not going to help AmaZulu much in terms of the win. Ture just hammers that away. Now, referee says stop play. Let's get some treatment here for Barnes on the edge of the area.
I think a wrong decision. It's a 4 versus 3 situation. Decision making is key. He has got Pili on the left hand side. He has got Likoloan and Nku giving him an option. I thought he should have went for a teammate in a better position. But after having just scored, the confidence is high. And we'll see it in a wider angle in terms of the options that he had, Sanele Barnes. But a good tackle coming from Raman Patlele.
His teammates will be too pleased with Sanele Barnes and his failure to pass, having scored this one just minutes earlier.
I think there's that block coming from Maloisani on Zungu, stopping him from getting to the ball or taking away space and time from Sanele Barnes. A well-taken goal. The flight of that ball deceived Ofori and Raman Patlele, who ended up colliding, giving an opportunity in the second phase for Stellis to be able to attack that ball, and they score from that.
Well, they've lost one player to injury already. Ashley Cupido going off very early in this game with hamstring concern. Barnes should be okay to continue. Well, he should have a smile on his face, Steve Barker. Things are working out well for him so far in this encounter.
I think more that would be stressing him would be how soon can they secure the result and how soon can he rest some of his key players.
Kiba gets this forward. I must point out that Stellenbosch have a very poor home record in the Betway Premiership this season. 1 win in their last 8 home matches. That was against Magesi here on the 25th of February. But their last 4 home games have drawn 3-1-1, so I suppose that's not too bad. Last home loss was against Kaizer Chiefs, but that played at the Athlone Stadium. They've also lost to Sundowns at the Athlone Stadium. Possibly too many draws here at Darnie Craven for the coach's liking. AmaZulu coming into this game with 3 defeats in a row before they beat Richards Bay. In their last 5 league matches, they've only picked up 4 points. Still find themselves in 7th place on the Betway Premiership standings. Barnes looking for Basadin. Very well by Sikakani. The pass a little shallow, but they have it again with Moremi. Now he's got pace. He's got Brooks in support. Finds Motswani pushing forward. Hanamu steaming down the left, but 2 players out to meet him. Gets past Enyanaya. Now can he drag it back? He has a chance for the header. Clearance away from Masuruke. Bindu looking to get his side back into this game. Maybe not enough power on that really to trouble Masuluke, who again wasn't all that convincing in making the stop.
Good run coming from Hanamu. And I think what takes away the power is that he does not get the power coming from the cross, so he has to generate the power himself. That is Kambindu. He tries to go for that jackknife technique, head the ball against the ground, make it difficult for the goalkeeper to be able to make a save. He does get a hand on it, Masuluke, not convincing though, Mr. Cliff.
Yeah, I think he played it straight back into the danger zone as well. But initially a good stop from Masuluke, to be fair.
It's always difficult for strikers if the cross doesn't have pace itself. Then the striker has to generate the pace himself. But he did well, Kambindu, to generate some pace on that header.
Kambindu with 4 goals for AmaZulu this season. He arrived at from Chippa United expressly to score goals for AmaZulu, despite the fact he hadn't scored a single goal for Chippa in the first half of the season. But he's beginning to prove his worth. He scored against Chiefs, Sekhukhune, Cape Town City and Galaxy, all since the beginning of February.
He's a striker that relies a lot on supply, and he has not gotten that supply from these AmaZulu offensive midfielders.
Now Pili almost takes that away. Here's Phillies coming forward. Zungu. Phillies chases on here for Moremi. Kambindu trying to return the favour to Hanamu. Motswari. Not seen much of the youngster Tabedi over the last 10-15 minutes.
I think they've been under pressure, AmaZulu. They've been marking for most of the period. They had a good first 15 to 20 minutes. Then the game shifted to the Stellenbosch side. And I think that's why we have not seen a lot of him in the last couple of minutes.
That'll be a corner. Comes off Toure. He's been in the Confederations Cup semi-final already in his career with Marumo Gallants. They actually lost to Tanzania in opposition a couple of seasons ago, young Africans. Now Hanamu will swing this away towards the penalty spot. There are lots of players up there, Phillies as well. Low clearance from Nku, back in from Tabedi. Now Stellenbosch with a chance on the counter, and they've got pace with Pili. Yes, Kiba. The greatest of passes to Pili. Foul on Brooks.
I think this will be 2 incidents that Stevie Barker will deal with at half time. Is that opportunity with Pili where he still takes Kiba outside, where he could have gone straight, wrong decision making in the final third. You look at the earlier one with Barnes with the 4 versus 3. So those 2 decisions that they've made wrong in the final third is something for Stevie Barker to address at half time.
Must be said, Brooks went down rather easily there, showing some experience, put in the free kick. Clock says 7 minutes now to half-time. We should have maybe a minute or 2 added on for that injury that, first of all, to Cupido, then Barnes. Both of them causing a little bit of a stoppage. Zulu, I think, will be pleased to change ends and have the wind in their favour in the second half. Now, Nku. He's got Lekroane with him. Is he going to go for goal himself? He does. He puts that over the top. That's a very good chance.
Good touch by Lekroane. Good rotation coming from Jabbar in that instance. Nku has got 2 players on him. He needs to try find target. He goes for power. I thought, open up your body profile, go for that instep and try and find that far post with the Keller. It favors the left foot. He goes across his goals. frustrated with that attempt.
He got his first goal last month for his new club when they won away in that big match against Sekhukhune United. Now Moremi. Off he goes, cut out by Basadi. Pacele to goalkeeper Ofori. Brooks. Tabedi looking to find Moremi. Kiba. Swari switches play. Kambindu. Zungu. Tabedi goes on the run. Pass only as far as Ture.
Something that we've seen developing in this game is that Kambindu is drifting more to that wide-hand side whenever they're in position.
And Yanaya got through 2 challenges there, still going down the right here. Now as he ran out of support. That's going to go against him. Well, that would have taken a little bit of energy away from the Nigerian. Puffing and puffing now.
Support did not come quick enough for him. He's trying to protect that ball, thinking Barnes will come, Jabbar will come to try and support. But good group defending coming from AmaZulu in that moment.
Release, bit of space here for Tabedi to turn now. The pass sits up nicely with a win for Kambindu. And just got the touch in there. Brooks, he floats it. It's going to fall here for Nku. Another chance to get things going here for Stellenbosch, but the pass from Basadin is dangerous. He wasn't really looking what he was doing there, the skipper.
I don't say the pass from Basadin is dangerous. Maloisani letting the ball run across his body is dangerous because Basadin gives him the ball. Yes, it's a wrong pass, but Maloisani can still clear first time. He lets it run across his body, which gives an opportunity for Kambindu to then attack that ball. Not the best of balls from Basadin,
yeah,
but Maloisani
unsighted when he hit that.
Yeah, but Maloisani should be saving his teammate. He should making that bad pass look like a good pass.
We hear there'll be 2 minutes added on at the end of the 45, so there's 5 to go here in the first half at Stellenbosch. Sanele Barnes, the goal scorer, looking to be the provider now. Comes off Phillies. Hanamub's going to look to save this from going for a corner. That ball's just hanging up. In fact, it's swinging back now with the wind. Can Barnes get it square? Still in play here for Stellenbosch. Ball into the middle. Lekoloane turns. Is that a corner? Yes, says the referee. Took a deflection with a block from Pacele. But the wind playing havoc there for AmaZulu.
Somebody watching from home can understand from that clearance from Hanamub. He gives it his all onto that clearance, but it comes back and drops right in front of him because of how strong the wind is blowing against AmaZulu in the first 45.
Now, Richard Ofori, last corner, was all at sea. Needs to rebuild his own confidence and the confidence of his teammates in him by collecting this one comfortably if it's near him. Busted into the near post. Another corner. Actually, just trying something there, busted in, or just didn't connect it with enough power.
I think he did not connect well, but the in-swinger will always be dangerous if you're playing with the wind. And that in-swinger would be dangerous to say, somebody needs to put pressure on the goalkeeper not to come out.
Again, busted in a little low. Phillies clears. Pili. AmaZulu ball, nicely done by Tabede. Saluke, a big hoof forward into the final minute before into stoppage time, and this wind really now is very powerful. Kambindu goes down, gets the free kick. And we move now into stoppage time. He will join the fray, and they'll need him up there as a potential target man as the free kick now comes in. AmaZulu looking for an equaliser here just before half-time. Hanamud, powerful ball in. Clearance from Basadin. Cool. He's going to switch it out onto the left. Lekolowane will have possession here. Ball into the middle is dealt with by Phillies. Jabbar. Big strong challenge on Moremi by Malloy Sane, which is illegal. Free kick AmaZulu. Final minute now of this first half here at the Dani Craven Stadium. Toure clears. Phillies looking for some running from Brooks. He knows how to play the ball into the wind, but more power. In the end, away harmlessly for a goal kick. Saluki is taking his time about getting matters back underway. He knows the clock is running down. That's it, says Mr. Quinde. End of the first half here in Stellenbosch. The goal from Sanele Barnes in the 29th minute separates these two sides, tucking it away after AmaZulu failed to clear a corner. So as things stand now, Stellenbosch looking good for a jump up the table and into third position, but still plenty to play for here at the Dani Craven Stadium. AmaZulu will certainly not be giving up easily. Looking for a long-awaited away success. They've lost 4 of their last 5 away matches. Only 1 point on the road in their last 5 was a draw with SuperSport United. Can they do better here tonight? We'll discover later. But we can tell you here at half-time, it's 1-0 to Stellenbosch.
Well, we had opportunities for both teams in the first half, but the one that counts is for the home side. Stellenbosch Football Club currently in the lead as we go into the break, but it was not for a loss of trying from the AmaZulu side.
Yeah, I think AmaZulu have done well in trying to get something out of the encounter by creating situations, especially when they get a bit aggressive up top. And I think that's the only way they'll be able to get something here is when they get the ball quicker in advanced areas of the pitch and get the players that are in the front line, especially the likes of Kambindu, to actually be aggressive when attacking the balls that are played into the box, because it's difficult for them to play in small spaces, especially in the center of the pitch. They haven't been able to release Moremi as often as they would like to. So their fullbacks have been very key in the first half.
Yes.
Looking at the first 45, I thought Stellenbosch looked better when they were playing with a false 9. With Nku playing as that false 9, Likolwan in that 10. I thought they were dynamic after that substitution of Cupido. But AmaZulu, I thought they had a good first 10-15 minutes where we saw Tabete on the ball. When they started to starve him away from that ball position, AmaZulu started to look a little bit weak. But that is the first instance where we're saying the set pieces are going to be key, especially with the wind like this. You see Masuluke is not sure in coming out and dominating his area. This was one of those that earlier on in the game, that in-swinger, Kambindu getting his head onto it, unlucky not to get it on target.
Yeah, very difficult to deal with this because goalkeepers have been finding it hard to judge the flight of the ball because of the wind. And you can see even with this cross that the way it floats in, it sort of changes the speed as soon as it leaves Banzi's foot. And it made it difficult for Rama to actually judge it, and also made it difficult for Lekulwane to also get on the end of it. And you will see later on with the goal that the judgment of the balls being floated into the box have been a challenge for the goalkeepers and also for the defenders.
Yeah, it's been very difficult with this wind. We knew it was going to be a factor.
Yeah, this is a set-piece routine coming from the training ground. It's a short one between Bans and Basadine. AmaZulu expecting a ball onto that far post, but that intelligent pass coming from Basadine, finding Nku, that cut back, but in good positioning, good anticipation coming from Ofori. He makes a good save. Maloisani was waiting to pounce on that one.
Yeah, most certainly. I think the reaction, especially in their own box for AmaZulu, could be better. Because if you see here, then Ofori tries to come out. Like I said, it's very difficult. And there's Rama in front of him. But then the reaction after that, when the ball falls just inside the small box, it has to be better. There has to be enough reaction or quick reaction from the players of AmaZulu to try and block a bounce there, slotting it in, because eventually it seems like just an easy goal to just slot in when he reacts better than the AmaZulu player.
Misses the flight of the ball, Ofori, but what AmaZulu need to correct, they deal with the first phase of defending, but when they go to the second phase of defending, they switch off, and that's how Barnes was able to get the goal in that instance. Hanamo going forward on that left-hand side here.
Yeah, most of the time, this is what I'm talking about, that when you get into the advanced areas, especially when you push your fullbacks forward, the acceleration, the aggression is needed. That's the only way you'll be able to get past this resolute Stellenbosch defense. And I felt that Pumuzo, maybe Kambindu, going across, but also just sort of lifting it high and taking it to the direction where it was coming from, you would have had a chance to actually get it on target and get it behind the bodies in front of you.
I just felt sorry for Kambindu. He's playing against the wind. He tries to generate power with that cross that was lacking power. Unlucky not to get a goal in that instance, but a great save coming from Masuluke.
Well, you can't read much from the statistics because both teams have really struggled to get the ball on the ground and connect passes and advance and beat the lines. And I felt that everything that has come out has come from direct play, whether it's a set piece or getting into wide areas and then crossing the ball into the box. Yeah.
All right, so now it's a matter of what happens in the second half with Usutu chasing this game.
Yeah, you're looking at Human can come in that midfield for AmaZulu. there is also Extian that can come off the bench for AmaZulu. So if he's looking for two substitutions, that is Atazwani, I would go with that one of those two offensive midfielders coming in, especially Extian and Human. They're very good on the ball. They're playing with the wind. They need a technically gifted players that can also take shots from outside the box.
There will certainly be injection of pace on the Stellenbosch side with the likes of Titus. Expect that in the second half.
All right, so those are the changes that we are anticipating in the second half. Remember, Usotu are really desperate to score against Stellenbosch. They haven't managed to do that in their last 4 league encounters against the Maroons. Let's see if they will get that much-needed goal and parity in this encounter in the second.
Welcome back everyone here to the beautiful Winelands. Full moon here as Stellenbosch lead AmaZulu by a 1-0 in the Betway Premiership. A scoreline that would give them the opportunity to move up into 3rd place in the standings, leave AmaZulu down in 7th. But still 45 minutes to go. AmaZulu will have the wind in their favour. It's a cold and blustery night here in the Winelands. The only game, by the way, in the Betway Premiership this midweek. Next action will be on Friday night, Richards Bay against Cape Town City in a massive potential relegation battle, what they call a 6-pointer. That's live for you, the 7:30 kickoff on Friday, and then of course plenty of action at the weekend, including Kaizer Chiefs away at Chippa United at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium on Saturday. Magesi Galaxy live on Sunday afternoon. And don't forget the African clubs, South African clubs involved in African club competition. Saturday, Sundowns hosting the African Giants, the defending champions. Al Ahly, 3 p.m. kickoff at Loftus Versfeld in the Champions League semi-final first leg. Orlando Pirates kick off at 6 o'clock in their match against the other Egyptian side, Pyramids, also at home in the first leg. Stellenbosch are away on Sunday. That'll be live on your World of Champions, up against Simba of Tanzania. The game being played in Zanzibar. Not a bad place to visit this time of the year. So AmaZulu, no changes at the break. Stellenbosch forced into one change in the first half with injury to Cupido. Pili's come on for him. And the wind still playing a big part in this game. There's a free kick in favour of Mpahlele. If we did allow a little advantage. The skipper looking up front. Sikakane had gone forward. Nku. Lekolowane onto this. Can he get the shot in? Early opportunity here in the half for Stellenbosch. Cut out by Motswari. It means a corner.
We spoke about decision making in the final third. That was something that we wanted Stevie Barker to address in the changing room. That's where the opportunity is. As soon as he lets that ball run away, more and more away from goals, he takes the opportunity away for Lekoloane. He's waiting for support to come, but it's far from arriving. In Nku arriving late, also Pili arriving late. You can see them discussing it there to say, I thought you'd have it first time. Opportunity gone a begging.
And you'd want your strikers to be a little more instinctive in that area and want that will to go for goal in those situations. Here is Pili now, gets the pass from Basadin, back again. Now Basadin with a left foot. He's got 7 goals this season. Ball high up in the air. Not convincingly cleared. Basadin again in there. Now Pili very quickly. AmaZulu get players back to close him down. Toure will find Barnes. Pitch hasn't played too badly. There were lots of concerns before kickoff about the condition of the field after the big rugby encounter yesterday between UCT and Marties, the Varsity Cup final. Now on the edge of the area, offside flag up against Kambindu. Gone offside there. Although the last touch came off the Stellenbosch man.
Don't agree. The last touch comes from a maroon shirt. So therefore, the referee could have, should have been onside.
Masuluke's kick out hangs up in the air. Hanemup puts a little bit too much power on that. Now Lekoloane away on the right. Nku in the middle. Back out again to Lekoloane. Pass is cut out by Ethan Brooks, up to Kambindu. Real battle he's having with Ismail Toure. And the last touch came off Kiba.
His main role is to let the ball stick, that is Kambindu. When they play the ball to him, he needs to hold it up for Tabete to join in, Brooks to join in. But at the moment, the ball is not sticking, and when the ball doesn't stick, AmaZulu does not progress to that final third.
Nyanaya. Frustration there from Sanele Barnes. Possession turned over. AmaZulu have it. 5 minutes gone here in the second half. Not too many chances created by AmaZulu, it must be said. Before he gets his forward, he's got the wind helping him out. Underneath it was Moloi Sane. Only as far as Sikakane. Muremi. Not the pace, not seen much of him in today's game. He can be so...
They've looked good. They've looked good, AmaZulu, in the build-up phase, in the consolidation phase, but they are not making enough entries into that final third. That's why we were not seeing a lot of the likes of Muremi and Tabete, as we've seen in the first 10-15 minutes of the game. They are not finding the way through to progress into that final third.
Now Sikakane looks for Kambindu. Gets away from his marker, facing goal, decides not to go for the shot, waits for Sikakane, and the ball overhit in search of Muremi. Muremi was in a bit of space there between the defenders. A decent ball in from Sikakane might well have offered the opportunity for an AmaZulu equaliser.
Also around the D-line area where you found Tabete and also Brooks waiting for that little lob into that space. So execution in the final third.
AmaZulu do lead the win count between these two sides in 12 or in 11 previous league meetings. Stellenbosch have won 3, AmaZulu won 4, the other 4 drawn. So we're put in a situation the scoreline stays the same, 4 wins apiece and 4 draws in 12 league fractions between these two sides. Long way from being settled though, this one. Kiba. Run over by Brooks, legally, says the referee. Ball through the middle here for Muremi. Out comes Masuluke, he's in trouble. Kambindu without the requisite power. Let off for Stellenbosch. Now Barnes. Uku. Back to Sanele Barnes. Kiba in support. Leaves it for Enyanaya. Here's Jabbar. Masuluke is taking no chances, straight into touch. Oh, lucky let off for Masuluke there.
They would have felt hard done by, because I felt there was a foul on Kiba earlier on in that move. But they don't take the opportunity. Kambindu, Masuluke making a mistake. He's going more for placement. I thought he could have gone for that chip or gone for the lace technique.
Now Tabete, the youngster, he's been a little undercooked in this game so far. Made an early start of some promise, but it's been a little quiet since then. Now, what a chance for Kambindu.
Ball over the top. He comes out, Masuluke. He's not decisive in what he wants to do. Does he want to control or does he want to clear the ball? Then it ricochets and then it finds Kambindu.
There's a good pass in from Tabete. The goalkeeper should not be playing with his feet in that situation.
But how are you going for a finish on the ground when there's 2 defenders? Look for the chip. Look for the lob over the top, because the goalkeeper is not in goals from Kambindu. That's a good chance that you have to take away from home.
Stellenbosch will be breathing a sigh of relief. AmaZulu will be somewhat frustrated. Remember, Stellenbosch beat AmaZulu 5-0 in February when they met in Durban. Biggest scoreline we've had this season. Titus got 2 in that game. I wonder if we're going to see him today, or whether they're going to keep him on ice for the match in Tanzania on Sunday. I suppose it depends on what the scoreline is.
It's also difficult to keep a man that has 11 goals in all competition to go together with the 6 assists, but you need to look at the bigger picture, and I'm sure that's what the Tencal team will be looking at to say, do you benefit from keeping him out tonight and using him over the weekend?
Brooks and Kiba continue their little tussle. Clearance from Fahlele. Bar with a good challenge. It's good football from Stellenbosch all of a sudden. Nku rather too strong with the pass there for Enyenaya.
He's enjoying himself. Nku, misunderstanding between himself, Barnes and also Lipolwani has been good so far, and something that is the combination that Stevie Barker has enjoyed, and that's why he tries as much as possible to play them together to continue with that understanding.
Now the clearance only as far as Tabede finds Sikakane. Here's Brooks. Too close to the goalkeeper. Sikakane making a valiant effort to get there, but his way was blocked. Doesn't help his cause, Masaluke, with that kind of distribution. There was a great throw out in the first half, which was in the plus column for him, but that's straight into touch.
He has been long enough in Cape Town to understand the wind now.
Good point. Well, continues to be, I should say, a tough physical encounter between these two sides. Not exactly eye-catching at the moment, but at times Stellenbosch trying to put some maneuvers together as they go in search of a second goal. Kambindu with a nice first touch. Now Moreni, is he onside? Flag stayed down. Masaluka came out, collected comfortably.
More worried about the keeper there, Moreni. I thought he could get an effort into that ball. It was a delightful ball played over the top. That's something that AmaZulu needs to do more of when Kambindu comes short. Don't give him the ball at all times. Sometimes play opposite from where he's moving to be able to fight the runs that Muremi is making.
Now Pili with the other youngster, Tabede. Kiba. Enyenaya. Barnes, bit of space here for Kiba. Build up, looking for Nku, read well by Phillies. Zungu with a pass to Tabede. He was almost wrestled to the ground, and there's going to be a yellow card here for Kiba.
A good buy, Kiba, from the January transfer window. Just in front of that back four, protects them with the fire extinguisher there. Any fire that starts is there with the fire extinguisher. And also very good on the ball to initiate the build-up and the play.
Kiba, by the way, suspended for the next league game against Chippa United because of that yellow card. Titus is the other player who comes into this game with 3 cautions to his name for Stellenbosch. The Chippa match away is scheduled to be played between the 2 semi-finals, the 2 legs of the semi-final against Simba of Tanzania. Chippa game Fancy might be moved, depending on how Stellenbosch do in Tanzania. In the meantime, Pili gets the cross. Barnes is chasing this, he might keep it in play. Doesn't.
Good effort. Stellis can now put pressure on that throw-in, make sure that they suffocate AmaZulu from coming out.
Cool. In the challenge by Zungu. Now, a bit of space for Tabede. What's he going to do? Little ball over the top here for Moremi. Excellent one as well. Ture to the rescue. Not happy with the midfield, who are allowing AmaZulu a couple of those clever little passes over the top, looking to get the pace of Moremi going.
That's something that he needs to do consistently. Repeated runs of such movement from Moremi and the balls over the top. They are causing a little bit of a concern for Ture and Maloisani at that heart of defense for Stellis.
1 hour gone here. AmaZulu with a bit of a purple patch at the moment. Can they find the equaliser? With Hanamuk trying to work his way down the field. Makes a quick throw in. No, it should actually go the other way. The referee said AmaZulu ball. The linesman said Stellenbosch ball. I think the linesman had that right. Zungu. Cool feeling the pain of that challenge. As if Sihle Ndule might be coming on shortly. There's going to be a yellow card as well for the challenge on Ndu. Hanamuk. He's going to be booked here. Enyanaya now, long ball forward. Clearance by Baklele. Back in from Jabbar. Lekolowane is offside. His body did well coming out. Kelly Kiwela is the linesman on the near side. Lots of experience in that department. Was he right though? There's a handball in there nevertheless from Lekolowane, but Mr. Siwela might have got that wrong. What do you think?
The big question is, did you pause it when the ball was being released? I think he's too experienced for me to make such a mistake. I think it's where we paused it. I think if we pause it when the pass was made, I think we'll get a clearer picture. But in that instance, Siwela saying offside, we'll get a better angle.
Now, Masaluke is going into the book, a yellow card for time wasting.
What's up? Number 7 out, Stellenbosch, huh?
Stellenbosch going to make some changes now, as are AmaZulu. Cool will come off. Janino Palace will take his place, and Sihle Ndule rather will take his place, wearing jersey number 8, the hero of the game in Cairo. And then Masiba coming off. And Janino Palace taking his place.
I think you're looking at the stuff that Stevie Barker is making is two fresh midfielders into that heart of midfield. He will play with a 6 and a double 8 in this instance. Then the front three will look like Likolwani. Barnes would also be part of that. Ikataro coming in, you'll be the point of reference up top. You will play alongside Kambindu. It means that AmaZulu will change to a 4-4-2 now, and they'll have two strikers to aim for in the last 30 minutes or so.
So Ighodaro up front. Can the Nigerian change the fortunes here of AmaZulu in this game? Get them back into this encounter, give them a chance to climb up the log table. Four goals for Ighodaro in AmaZulu colours in the league this season. He's got another one in the cup competitions as well. There's lots of calling for the ball. Well, it's rather slow in the delivery stakes, so AmaZulu need to get on the front foot here.
You can still see that Likolwani will then continue this game as a false 9. Then you've got Barnes that is on the right, Pili on the left-hand side.
Nicely held up by Kambindu. Tabede. There's another chance here, but strong challenge from Enyanaya. Motswari. Tabede out wide. Kambindu waiting for Hanemu to go on the overlap. Went down rather easily.
He has the advantage. Rather play the cross. He's looking for the foul. Hanemu in that instance. Good tracking coming from Toure in that moment, and I think it was legal.
AmaZulu have not won an away game since the 11th of January in the league when they beat Magesi by a single goal. And remember, on the eve of the new year, they were in Cape Town and beat Cape Town City by 1-0 to 0, leading to the departure of Eric Tinkler. Now treatment needed for Kambindu.
No contact, he just goes down. Is it hamstring or is it groin?
Well, there's the clear signal. Take him off. They are telling Coach Arthur Zwane to immediately get Tebofo Mashiko kitted and ready to join the fray. Yeah, holding on his hamstring there, and that slow-mo is Kambindu. We had a couple of hamstrings in this game already today. Judging by the hands over the face, it is a real disappointment for Kambindu. Wendell Robinson, you see in picture there briefly, he's joined AmaZulu recently from the staff at Mamelodi Sundowns. Now time is beginning to tick away here for the visiting side. Lekolwane. Barnes. Nduli. Lekoloane looking to get into the box. Peely. Palace getting involved as well. Here they come, they're all queuing up. Bust it in! Nice little bit of footwork there. Ofori did well to come off his line, cut out the angle and make the block. That was more positive from Stellenbosch.
I loved the patience, the overload on the left-hand side, the calmness that Nduli brings into this Stellenbosch team. Good foot movement from Basidin.
Now Jabbar, no free kick there. Legally done by Sikakane. Good stop of Ibrahim Jabbar. Motswari. Plenty of possession in this half for AmaZulu. Here's Motswari with Zungu. Looks at his options. Straight down the middle in search of Ighodaro, who doesn't find him. Up to Lekoloane. He's got pace, he has a look, he's got Barnes in support, he's got a hunter move on his shoulder. And again, the referee allows play to continue.
He doesn't scan lack of information of what is happening around him, Lekoloane.
Moremi with his pace, up against Enyenaya. That's going to be an AmaZulu throw-in. And before they can get that throw-in, AmaZulu are going to make a double change here. So Mashiko will be coming on for Kambindu. And then Ronwin Human is going to come on for the youngster Tabede, who I think has run out of gas a little bit. The physical battle of this Betway Premiership has taken its toll on the 18-year-old. Some nice silky touches from this young man. He's a name to look out for in the future. But in the heart of the battle in the middle seemed to fade a bit.
Yeah, I think a good learning process for him tonight will be he just needs to take the positive, take the weaknesses and try and improve on those. But a good substitution in bringing Human into that midfield, into that 10 role, more experienced, comfortable in playing, facing his own goals, ability to turn in tight spaces. That's something that he will bring to this AmaZulu team. He needs that pass to be able to find the run of Moremi and Ighodaro up top.
Ighodaro turns, but Palace just got a little interception in there. This might be a bit too strong for Lekoloane. It's been 2 years since AmaZulu last beat Stellenbosch, a 1-0 home win in the 22-23 season, 30th of October 2022, so that's a time ago now. They haven't scored in their last 4 league games against Stellenbosch. That 5-0 win, I think, still rankles with them. 5-0 loss, I should say, at Lazi. Stellenbosch are just making their way back from one of their African adventures and not expected to put up as good a showing as they did on that occasion. AmaZulu corner, just over 50 minutes to go. Basidin gets a touch to it. He has a chance for Sikakane. Now, was that a shot? Was that a cross? What was he thinking there?
The far post, he's got 2 of his teammates in Raman Patlele and Ighodaro waiting. Should have gone for that ball onto the far post. Undecided. I can't even explain if it's a cross or was going for a shot, but did not execute it well.
into the wind from Masaluke. Doesn't even cross the halfway line. Here's Human now. He can possibly make a difference. Titus and De Jong are standing by to come on for Stellenbosch. That's no surprise with some 50 minutes to go. A little bit of a run and just try and solidify the scoreline. It's probably what Steve Barker is thinking.
Yeah, you're looking at Dion that can play in a 10, can play in a false 9. 8 goals so far this season. Titus with 11 goals so far in all competitions also. He brings a lot of pace, that is Titus, and ability to find goals. So the question would be, who do they rest? Do they rest Likolwane at the moment? And do they also rest Barnes or Pili? That will be the question.
Now, Human. Good challenge from Barnes. Can he get this to Likolwane? Chance for a second before he makes the save. Oh, that should have been it. Sanele Barnes made it all with his hard work, stealing the ball away.
Excellent work coming from Barnes. Persistence. Puts pressure for the first time, does not work. Second time, does not work. The third time, he toe pokes and gives Likolwane an excellent opportunity. But let's give credit to Richard Ofori. Good positioning, good reflex saves. He keeps AmaZulu in the game.
Now, before they can take this corner, we are going to see the two changes. De Jong comes on. He'll be joined by Devin Titus momentarily. Pili off and Likolwane off as well. Pili had come on in the first half as a substitute for Kupido, but not one of his better performances today, fairly anonymous in today's encounter. So straight into the fray. Pass it into the near post. Still pass it in. Going busted in, but flag up from the linesman, that'll go against him.
You could see he's looking for the foul. You could see he's looking for the foul. And he's still arguing with the assistant ref.
So Andre de Jong into the fray. Has his parents visiting from New Zealand. This is his dad, Fred de Jong, who was a New Zealand international player and spent some time in the Dutch league as well. So they get a chance, his parents, to watch their son in action. They've been here on holiday from New Zealand. Saw de Jong in action against Zamalek in the first leg of that semi-final, quarter-final, I should say, of the Confederation Cup.
Cape Town is a good place to come visit for holiday, but also as a plus to come watch your son play some football.
Fabulous. Now, the clock says around about 12 minutes to go, plus stoppage time. And Zulu have threatened at times. Here is another opportunity. Philly's a shot wide, but Ture will get the free kick. The challenge which came in from Mashiko.
They're looking for that near post with Ben Mutwari with the flick. But later on, you can see Mashiko just collides into Ture. Correct call by the ref.
So Massa looking to try and get this upfield into the wind. The ball goes. A touch on from De Jong. Now here is Devin Titus, his first contribution. Nice little 1-2. Titus in here for De Jong. And you can see the quality of Devin Titus almost immediately putting them onto the front foot, along with Andre De Jong, has attracted a lot of attention from clubs with bigger pay packets and pockets up north. while the clock is ticking away, and AmaZulu are running out of time here if they are to get something out of this trip. Again, the wind just helping with the pace of the ball, getting to the goalkeeper Masuluke a little bit quicker. Now he can waste time in this situation, no problem, but when you've got to take the set piece, that's when the referee will be on his case. And remember, he's been booked already for time wasting. Up to De Jong. And Yanaya looking for De Jong. Challenge from Palace, almost taking it away. De Jong goes down, no free kick there. Moremi. The best of passes. Enyanaya now. Titus. Jabbar. De Jong over on the left-hand side. Titus a little closer to Ibrahim Jabbar. Looking for a space himself, Jabbar gets the shot in but blocked. Zungu pushing this forward. This is a chance now for Ighodaro, being watched by Malloy Sani. Turns well. Finds Zungu again. Good cutout from Basadin. Play is opening up a little bit now.
End-to-end stuff, it's opening up in that midfield. Good diagonal ball from Basadin to find Titus 1v1.
Titus goes for the shot, puts it over the top. Crowd willing him to go for goal there. Lovely ball across from his skipper.
The understanding between the two has developed with more seasons that they've played together. Whenever Basadin jumps that halfway line, you know that he's going to change the point of attack and try and find Titus. Unlucky not to get on target in that instance.
Titus again. De Jong in the middle. It's stuck with a little too much spin on it and not the right direction from Devin Titus. Sikakane forward. Good challenge from Basadin, and you get the free kick out of this. Will bring Enyanaya into play. Being whirled forward now by the fans. Can they get a second? Devin Titus turns, waits for Jabbar. Shot along the ground, or Tanis rather, shot along the ground was blocked. Here's Enyanaya one more time. That's a decent cross inside. He has a chance for Jabbar. Good block from Patlele. They're claiming a foul there, but referee says play on. Zungu and Patlele, the two veterans, leading AmaZulu's counter here. Human. That's into touch because they want to get some treatment for Jabbar, who's back in the AmaZulu goal area after that earlier challenge. In the meantime, another change for AmaZulu. Montley and Banjwa to come on. Ex-Free State Stars, Polokwane City and Tongati, 1 goal this season. He's had more sub appearances than he's had starts. Zungu will get a well-deserved break.
Atazwan is still looking for that equalizer. He brings on Mbanjwa, more offensive, can play on the wing, can play on the inside 10 role. Just looking back at that.
Well, he got caught on the ankle, and there's a potential of a handball in there. So,
you think they don't make contact with the ball at the same time, maybe?
possibly. Hand up, though, from Mpahlele in an unnatural position. And on review, that might well have been a spot kick.
From here, report card, penalty.
Clock says 5 minutes, maybe a little less now with stoppage time to be added on top of that. And Jabbar still to receive treatment, so Stellenbosch down to 10 for these closing stages. And there are 5 changes, of course, Stellenbosch, so if Jabbar can't continue, then they'll have to finish this game with 10. Now, that's a little too long again, just in terms of the wind from Mpahlele. Asking the players to run onto it, but it really does pick up pace with the wind, and of course it'll skid off this slippery surface with the moisture now this time of the day. 3.5 to go. Jabbar will limp back onto the field. There's De Jong. De Jong looking for Titus. Mpahlele coming and winning the throw-in. So we can tell you from the 4th official, 4 minutes will be added on. So we're looking at 7 to go now. That's a clash of the Nigerians there. Iguodalo with a little slap on the head of Jabbar.
It's an unfair battle, looking at the size.
Naya to take the free kick. Not enough elevation in that. Tariq Phillies, but Iguodalo has the last touch. So it'll be back with Stellenbosch again. This might be a chance here for Barnes. Jabbar, he's been looking for a chance all game long. Tries to curl it into the back of the net, but again it was blocked.
He's really looking for that assurance goal, that is Jabbar. But look at the defense. Rama and Ko always taking away space and time whenever he's in position. Is that threat of Stellis once again, that long throw coming from the right-hand side.
Palace out wide to Sanele Barnes, the goal scorer. Final minute now, plus stoppage time to come. Moremi with his pace. Can they do something here in the closing stages? AmaZulu get the cross in. That'll be a goal kick. or most convincing clearances from Moloi Sane, but does halt the progress of AmaZulu. And Yanaya gets in the way there. Titus now to Janino Palace. Sikandule switches, play it. Another ball that just swings back with the wind. Vasadin, we're into stoppage time now. He's lost possession. Sikandule's won it back. Here's Palace. Well, that's disappointing from Masuluke again. Just turns the action back AmaZulu's way. Daru decided he's going to go and fetch the ball if no one else is going to be providing it up front. Get it away from Enyanaya is vital. Nice little touch in there from Moremi. Long range shot from Motshwari off target. It's actually interesting that they haven't tested Masuluke more in this game, because he does look to have a couple of weak points there.
Especially playing with the wind in that second 45, you'd expect AmaZulu to have tested Masuluke a little bit more, because in that first 45, he was dropping a lot of balls whenever shots were taken at him.
The Young wins the header. Here goes Jabbar up against Motshwari. Back to goalkeeper Ofori. Interception from De Jong. He wants it back from Barnes. With Vasadin. De Jong inside to Titus. Titus showing his skills to the byline. Now can he get it across? He'll win the corner, which will wind down the clock into the last 2 minutes. Stellenbosch starting this game on 35 points. AmaZulu on 33. Stellenbosch will now go above Sekhukhune United and Galaxy if they can hold on to this lead. Here comes the cross, looking for De Jong. Falls for Palace. Clock says around about 90 seconds to go. Patlele. AmaZulu's preparations for this game were a little disrupted by the fact that they arrived late at the ground. They were some 15-20 minutes late because of the heavy traffic from Cape Town, so not the best conditions to warm up in. They basically had to come off the bus, get changed and come straight out for the pre-match warm-up. The rules say that you must be at the ground 90 minutes before kick-off. How they overcome that. Now they've got time against them. Some 30 seconds to go. Himan. Masuluke in some trouble. De Jong just heads that away for another corner. This time Human gets a bit more elevation. Still not cleared away. It's dangerously bobbing around there. Enyanaya got an all-important touch. Might still be a last opportunity here for Rowan Human. Lays it back. Moremi. Still AmaZulu pressing, looking for an equalizer here. Moloi Sane, anywhere will do. And that will be it for the encounter. So Stellenbosch have the win. And 3 vital points. Back to winning ways in the Betway Premiership for Steve Barker and his side. This man, Sanele Barnes, with a all-important goal just before the half-hour mark. And the result is Stellenbosch up to 38 points now, above Sekhukhune United and into 3rd place, which of course sets them up to return to the African Confederation Cup next season. Masaluke in goal today for the injured Sage Stevens. Kept a clean sheet, albeit without too much conviction. AmaZulu plenty of possession in the second half, we must say, but no chances really created. That'll be of some disappointment, one would think, to their management. We will hear from Coach Arthur Zwane shortly, along with the victorious coach Steve Barker, who can now turn his attentions, of course, to the